Hi there, Amy from Firefly Retail Consulting, and today I'm going to give you my second of 5 videos in a short video series that I'm doing on how to really jumpstart your 2018. All right, how do we move into 2018 with the most positive momentum that we possibly can? Okay, and so today I want to talk about how to get the most cash that you can out of the merchandise that's sitting in your store right now. For most of us, it's the end of the year. It's right after Christmas. Well, that's for all of us. But for most of us, we want to move into the next year with the smallest inventory load that we possibly can. And I want to share a quick statistic with you that I think is very telling about small retailers and really what we should all focus on when it comes to the smooth running of our stores and being profitable, being sustainable. And that is 80% of small retailers are over inventoried. Okay, and I see this with the retailers that I work with and who come to me all the time. Everybody, almost everybody, has more inventory than they need. And, I would say half of that 80% is significantly over inventoried. Some of you out there are even hundreds of thousands of dollars over inventoried in retail dollars. Okay, so this is a huge thing, and we want to work towards decreasing that inventory load. Okay, I'm going to talk about that a bit more in a future video, but for right now, know that our goal here is to decrease your inventory load and to get the most profit that you can back out of it. Okay, so the number one thing that you got to do is there's 6 steps to this, really. So 6 parts of the strategy that I'm going to share with you. The number one thing to do is to identify what needs to be marked down. Okay, and so the way to do that is to look in your point of sale system and see what merchandise is over a year old. What items have been sitting in your store for more than a year? Because that stuff all needs to be marked down at this point. Okay, if you run a pretty tight inventory shift to begin with, then you might look at stuff that's over 9 months old, and see if that those are things then that need to go if they're over 9 months old. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing then is to take all that merchandise that you've now identified that needs to be marked down, and you're going to divide it into 3 different piles. Okay, and we call that the good pile, the bad pile, and the ugly pile. Okay, so we're going to good, bad, and ugly all of this. The good stuff is going to be stuff that sold pretty well, or really well maybe, and it's just a few straggling sizes that you might have left, a couple odd colors, just odds and ends that have been hard to move because they're just what's left over. The bad stuff is going to be stuff that you got in and you moved a little bit of it, but it never really took off. So so you have a chunk of it left, and you just know you're not going to sell it again. The ugly stuff then is the truly ugly stuff. This is the stuff that it feels like you just can't give away at this point. Never should have purchased it. You know that now, and so that's the ugly stuff. Okay, so then the third step now is to actually take the markdowns. And this is why we divided it into piles. The good stuff is going to get marked down 25% off. The bad stuff is going to get marked down 50% off. And then the ugly stuff is going to get marked down right to 75% off. Okay, and then as you're marking this down, this is the fourth part of this, you want to make sure that you're using a red pen on the tag to write the new price down. Okay, so you mark through the original price with that red pen, and then above it you write what the new price is in dollars. Okay, no percentages off here anywhere, no signs with percentages off. The only place that we're going to have a percentage off is in the title, and that's the 5th part of the strategy. Okay, when you name your sale, when you talk about this big sale that you're going to have, okay, you're going to call this your semi-annual clearance sale up to 75% off. You could also call it your after Christmas or your holiday sale if you wanted to, but make sure that you have that up to 75% off in the title, okay? Because that really is going to drive home to your customer that there's big sale inside, okay? And they need to come in to see, what they can get for 25 cents on the dollar, really, okay? So that's the one caveat that I wanted to make sure that I added to that is to make sure that you always do have something that's marked down 75% off on your sale floor. So if you move through all that ugly merchandise right away, make sure that you move a few of the things from the bad pile over to the ugly pile right away and mark it down to 75% off as well, because that way you're being truthful in your advertising. There should always be something on your floor that's 75% off. Okay, and now the very last part of this strategy, so the sixth part that I want to talk about, is how to progress through your markdowns. Okay, so first of all, when you go through, because this is a progressive sale, okay, it's going to last about 3 weeks. All right, so you progress through your sale. The original markdowns that we talked about here, those are for the first week. So I want you to start this sale on Friday the 29th of December, and I want you to run it this first week, goes through Thursday, January 4th. And everything's at those original markdowns that we just talked about, okay? That's the level that they're at right now. Now, at the close of business on the 4th, and then moving into the 5th, you're going to progress everything down to the next markdown level. So stuff that was good and was at 25% now moves to 50% off. All the stuff at 50% off, that now moves to 75% off. Stuff that was at 75% off, we're just going to keep there for now. I'll tell you what to do with all that stuff later. But for right now, everything there is at 75% off. And how you do this, how you take these markdowns, is you go back to the tag, you cross out now your first markdown level with the red pen, again, very important, red pen, and then you write the new price above it in the new markdown level that particular item is at right now, okay? So that markdown level, you're now going to run for a week. So that's going to go Friday, January 5th through Thursday, January 11th, okay? So that's your second week. Your third week is the 12th through the 18th of January, and you're going to do a repeat of what you did at the beginning of that second week. You're going to take everything now to the next markdown level. So everything that was at 50% now is at 75%. And the 75% stuff, again, can stay there for right now. This is everything, most everything at this point is at 75% off, okay? So that then you run for a week. That's your third week. Now, that brings you to the very last weekend of the sale. And we timed this for a weekend to get maximum exposure. So now everything really is at 75% off. So what you do then is now you're marking it down again with the red pen on the tag. Let them see all those markdowns, all those, this is their hard work paying off. They waited for that item, okay? So now they're going to get it for 10 cents on the dollar. That's huge, okay? And they get to see all the little red marks on it. So mark it with the red pen, and we're going to 90% off. We want to get some money back out of this stuff that's just sitting there, okay? And that is going to be January 19th through the 21st, that weekend, okay? And that's the end of your sale. That's it. That's all you've got to do. There's 6 steps to getting money back out. You want cash back out of that merchandise that's sitting in your store right now. We want to get your inventory level down to where it needs to be, okay? So please, I would love to hear from you. If whatever your biggest takeaway was from this video, please share down in the comments below this video. That would be awesome. I'd love to hear from you. And then remember to join me tomorrow when I'm going to be talking about the stories that we tell ourselves and whether they're good stories or bad stories and what that means for us. Okay. So until then, please remember that you control your retail destiny. You do. And you've got this. You can do this. All right. So until tomorrow, talk to you then.